thing with Teammates Foundation, coming to talk to students. So we took on the student athletics over here, about 300 of them there, all sports except the boys basketball teams in Canada. Good moment. Inky Johnson walks out on stage. I'm still trying to recover from what I just heard. Learned a lot. I'm there to kind of teach, share, and I was a student today. I know you guys are proud of your heritage. I would be proud to have anything to do with Inky whatsoever. Just proud to stand on stage with him today. Proud to call him my friend. Proud to hug him. That was emotional, inspirational, and like I said, I think the kids came there to learn. I think I was the one that walked out of there with most because of him. Great organization, great people, great staff. In all the great universities, it's what we're learning on this tour. You can try and teach it all you can, but when you walk the walk, when you get on the field in Nebraska, when you sit there and talk to Osborne, when you go to Penn State, and you look up on that field and talk to their people, you're lucky enough to come to the home of the volunteers, staff, everybody down to the very last person is top notch. That's what differentiates. That's what separates, for me, universities from colleges. It's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor to be here, and I'm going to say this: thank God, finally got back to singing. This is my favorite thing. This has been it's been probably 6 or 8 weeks since our last gig, way too long. And between that, CMAs, and being a band wife to my wife on tour, oh my gosh, it's so good to get to be the guy again, you know, to get to come here and just play music and kind of deal with what you wished you would get to deal with your whole life. So this is fun. And ticket on sale day, even with the problems, the second ticket on sale day was amazing, and then the production day was amazing as well. So it just shows me that this is going to be fun no matter what. And the one thing that I'm praying for more than anything is just dry. We can handle the cold. Just hope it stays good and dry, and we'll have fun. Not that great at speaking kind of to you. I'd rather talk with you. So is there anything we have to address at all? Any statement, any announcement we have to make? Okay, good. So we can just open it for questions. And my thing is, if you're going to ask a question, just kind of identify yourself so I'll know who I'm talking to. It'd be great. Yes, ma'am. Hi, Miss Shannon. Better than I deserve. How's it going with you?
Good. I just wanted to ask, what's your take on Knoxville? What are your favorite things about the city so far?
Well, Gus is my favorite. Gus is my favorite thing about the city. Always has been. Playing right here next door was fabulous for me. We had a communications error where I said I wanted to come over here one of the days that we played here at a later time than when I did. And so all my people were out doing other stuff. So I took my backpack and just walked across the campus to come here. And maybe one of the greatest 30, 40 minutes of my life, just walking, watching people do their thing, and just getting to take into campus life. And then ended up, you know, your name's the one on the sign out here, so it's pretty cool. You get to be everybody else on the way over here. Then when you get here, you can get to be, you know, you get to be the guy that's got his name up there. So that's probably some of my greatest memories of here. And then, of course, since we're in Nashville, all the people we work with bleed orange. I come from Oklahoma State, where we bleed orange. So that's the kind of one common bond that we have. And so it's fun to be here. I know my guys are tickled to death to be here because they're so proud of this. Then try to remember, Knoxville was the 3rd gig on the tour of our career. There was a place called Ella Guru's here. It was a little kind of a songwriting kind of place, and I played that. And that gig is in a song called "The Old Stuff" off Fresh Horses for us. So people always look at that and go, "What the hell is Ella Guru's?" It was a place in Knoxville that supported songwriters, so we came here, of course. Thank you very much. Hey, Madison.
What is one of your favorite songs to perform live, and why?
Yeah, man, I got to say, we're lucky to have a catalog of songs that kind of span a pretty good amount of age. And so I think people come here to hear Friends in Low Places. I think they come to hear the Thunder Rolls, Shameless, and the one song that is going to be their favorite that just never pops into your head is Callin' Baton Rouge. So when Callin' Baton Rouge, no matter what SEC team you're playing on, the place will just get up and go, and it's fantastic. And I think that's my favorite because it catches everybody off guard, and boom, and then once it goes to this level, it's going to go to a whole new level, then it stays there for the rest of the show if we do our job right. So I think that's my favorite one. My favorite Garth song of all, though, will always be The Dance, way back off the first record. I just love it. So. Yes, sir. Hey, Mac.
What's it like for you to walk out on stage, 80 to 100,000 people, walk out there?
It's pretty good. Mac, we're guys, so we don't want to admit that size matters. But damn, it's pretty cool, man. It's nice. And, you got to play this place over here, which is, as large as any football stadium anywhere else. And it's indoor. But to hear those 17, 18,000, 20,000 people sing for Friends in Low Places, or have them sing Take Over Unanswered Prayers, that's a cool moment. To have this thing behind you, or this thing you see here, Take Over Unanswered Prayers, it's a religious moment. Forgive me if that's sacrilegious to say, but it's a beautiful thing to hear all those people kind of focusing on the same thing. That's sweet, and that's when I wish Unanswered Prayers was like American Pie, which was 8.5 minutes long, because it's just such a great moment to get to sit out there, and like all things that are your favorite things in life, they're over too quick, but it's a sweet, sweet feeling. So that's a fun thing for me. My dad was always a very realist, so I always have in my ear, and what I'd say is, hey, Dad, 80,000 people. He would go, that's 80,000 people you can disappoint, bud. He was that guy. So it's like, you're on your way to the walk, you're thinking about that too. You want these people to have the best time of their life. And how you start that is just hit them right in the mouth as fast as you can and just keep swinging all night long. Because when they get to their feet, they're going to kick my ass, and it's going to be fun. We're just going to go back and forth all night long. Whoo! I bet you I played Rocky Top more than you guys have. I just haven't played it in a long, long time, man. You grew up on the bluegrass circuit, so that and Foggy Mountain Breakdown are the two ones you kind of flip that you just wear out. Yes, sir. Justin? Nice to meet you, Justin.
You played big shows, done Better Days, now you're doing Neyland. I mean, has this been a bucket list item for you? I mean, what's it going to be like doing playing for a stadium this big?
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the largest stadiums, if not the largest stadium on the planet. So there's a thing, I don't see it in this one. I'm not sure what you guys are seeing, but there's a third tier that sits right over my right shoulder pretty much the night. We didn't even put that up for sale because it's just way too steep to even go down. So know that if you're playing this place, what holds 100, 110,000, you sell 80,000, you still got 30,000 empty seats. That's humbling right there. But it's all about, what you do with what you have. And I have a feeling that this place is going to be loud, it's going to be fun, and it's the end of our first year. So I know the guys are all pumped, they're excited, because you want to go out on a really high note. So they've been working really hard, and hopefully it'll show up in the music that we play and how the show goes. It's going to be a little rusty for me, because I said I've been out 8 weeks, so it's kind of hard to start and stop. But I have a feeling if I know Garth, that it'll take me about 15 seconds to get warmed up and just start having the time of my life. I'm excited. We'll start the show with All Day Long, and that's a fun thing to start a show with, and then we'll get going from there. What's your name, sir? Hey, Cameron.
What went through your mind the other night when you were named as a singer?
Well, I thought it was going to be Carrie because it was the night of the women, right? And so I'm sitting there, just relax. It's fabulous, And my wife, I'm sitting there, and it took a minute to sink in for me. Really did. Holy cow. And then all I could think of was 7. That was just it. It's like my number. It's like the whole band and crew's number. And then to tell you the truth, as I'm kissing my wife, which felt like I got to kiss her for 90 seconds, I just started seeing Brad Watney's face, Dan Hines' face, Mike Palmer, David Gant, all those guys that were at Ella Guru's when we first started. All those guys that were at WIVK's big kind of festival that we did out here in the Tri-Cities, one of the first gigs we ever did even before Ella Guru's. Those guys are here. We're all still, thank God, getting to be together. So I was really happy for them. It was fun. So it was cool. The highlight of the night for me personally was getting to sing with Blake. He's funny. He's so funny. We're sitting there about to go on. Reba and Carrie are introducing us. We're sitting here. And Blake's right here on my right shoulder, right? And I go, wait a minute, hey, Blake. I said, Carrie's an Okie, Reba's an Okie. You're an Okie, I'm an Okie. He goes, yeah. I said, man, It must be hell being the weakest link in the chain. He started laughing so I couldn't even start the song. We were laughing so hard. And so the song started without me. And so I finally caught up. But that's the kind of guy he is. He can give it, take it. He's, you know, when people say, do you have any true friends in the business? This is one of those guys when you shake his hand, you feel like you've known him for 100 years. What a sweet guy. Good dude. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Madison TV.
Hi, Miss Madison.
WATE, the ABC station here. So obviously we're talking about this show tomorrow, but there's sort of a pseudo other show that you've invited some of the students to here at UT.
Yeah, Friday night Soundcheck. Yes,
So
ma'am.
why is that important? You know, especially you talk about Knoxville's connection to your career. I mean, I've talked to a lot of college students that are super excited to be here because they want to be where you are.
It's very sweet. What we did before you were born, we had a career, okay, like in the 90s. And then we went home to raise our kids. Sandy and I got divorced, so I couldn't ask her to do my job for me anymore. So went home to raise our babies. And for 14 years, we exchanged the kids every day at 6 o'clock. And we just got to be dads. And in that 14 years, I think mom and dad was telling the kids, this is what we did. This is who we went to see. And so you would get pulled over by kids in the grocery store going, man, are you ever going to come out of retirement so I can see you in concert? And that made you feel really good. It's really sweet. So when we did come back, Ticketmaster shocked us with the numbers that 48% of the people that bought tickets on the comeback tour were 10 years old or not even born yet last time we toured. So there's that generation. And so this college is kind of like it's my daughter's generation. So college kids are cool. The talk we had over here was very respectful. It's really good. And so they come in, student ID. You know, students aren't supposed to be able to afford anything, so they just get in free with an ID. We're going to do the sound check anyway because we're going to do lights and stuff, make sure, and run through the band. But this way you get to answer questions. Anybody that wants to do this for a living, stuff, it's pretty cool. And then because the university is the university, faculty and staff, I think, pay like $10 or something to come in. And then 100% of that money goes back to a scholarship for Knoxville here for UT, and hopefully a scholarship geared towards somebody who wouldn't be here if they didn't have the scholarship, because that's the best scholarships in my opinion. So it's fun to get to be a part of it. Everybody wins, and we're going to do it anyway. So it's pretty cool, and it gives you a chance to play again for somebody else, and a chance to have somebody out there go, hey, you know what? Maybe that's what I want to do for a living. Because when a young lady sees Candida, who runs this ship out there, when she says TC, the female girl that runs monitors on stage, see Tracy Greenwood, the female that's the tour production ticket manager. When they see those, having 3 daughters myself, I want them to look and go, all right, just because I'm a girl, it doesn't put a ceiling on what I can do. I can do anything. And that's an important message to get across for me. What is your name? Temper. Temper, like... Yeah, I bet you did you earn that name? Before you ever even came out, they knew, huh?
Well, Mom said I live up here.
Yes, I bet you do.
My question is, with the tickets being all the same, what made you decide to do that?
Made you do what? All this. Oh, it would break my heart if my kid looked at me and said, hey, Dad, how come we're not sitting down here? And the answer was, we can't afford that. It's just not right. So make them all the same price. Everybody knows. And I got to tell you, Temper, you might think I'm crazy, but I think it makes, even before you get here, when people start getting their seats, it makes you feel like, why are those people sitting there? Luck of the draw. They got in either before us or whatever happened, but not that they're more well off, better, less, whatever. And I think it creates a nice little unity. You ever been to a Garth show? Well, get ready. If you're coming, I promise you, 3 minutes in, you'll stop looking at the stage. You'll watch this crowd. This crowd will make you laugh, cry. They're just so in it, and they're so right there with everything. And that's a beautiful thing, because as an entertainer, all you have to do then is just start the song, they'll finish it. Start the next one, they'll finish it. Easiest gig on the planet. When that happens, it's a party. That's fun. Yes, ma'am. I was telling him Baton Rouge probably is still going to be it. The dance is my favorite, but we'll also be doing other people's stuff tonight, because the cool thing about stadiums is it gives you an opportunity to, especially in these colleges, do a thing called Music 101. So we bring the recording trucks with us. We got one out there tonight. And we're going to do some live stuff, some stuff that they're not ready for, just to see how they react and record it and stuff. We did the same thing in Oregon and Boise State, the colleges that we go in. So right now we have a Beatles trilogy that we did in Notre Dame. It's going to be replaced this fall, coming up here pretty soon, any day now. It's going to be pulled off the air, and we're going to put the Tom Petty tribute that we did down at the University of Florida, down with the Gators in the swamp. And that's what I love about playing colleges, is you get to experiment with a lot of different things. Well, we've already told them, we've had so many requests for a song called Cold Like That, which was an album cut off a past album, but won't die. And the live version of it is just really just muscular, you know. So it's fun, and it makes sense live. So if you're up on Garth music, you'll know a song called Rodeo. Well, the rodeo version that you hear on the album or the CD or stream, wait till you hear it live. Because live, it's going to become a beast, because that's what live's supposed to do. It's supposed to be stronger, louder, a little heavier. And it's fun to stomp around with that stuff. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead. Hi, Miss Maggie. Yes, ma'am. I think you try and just keep busy. That's what you do. Don't think about it. Because if you think about it, you start getting nervous. But I'm telling you, like I told Temper, it's like crawling into a nice warm bed or a nice hot bath. You get out there with these people, you hear their voices, you're home. You're safe. You're where you're supposed to be, man. As much as I worship God, as much as I worship the opportunity to be Tricia Yearwood's husband and 3 girls' dads, when you're doing this, that's what you're supposed to be doing. You just feel it. And just thankful that I get a chance to do this. And especially, like we were talking about, get to do it this long. That's pretty cool. So when you say, how do you prepare for this stuff, it's almost like if you've been starving all day and you're getting ready to sit down for dinner. That's what it is right before a show. Because people think that an entertainer, and this might be other entertainers, just not us, people think entertainers come into a city on full and give you everything they got. We roll into a city totally on empty and just fill up while we're here. It's a beautiful thing, man. So it's I'm really, really looking forward to playing. Like I said, when I first stepped up here, for 8 weeks with fall coming and you got all this product coming out, CMAs, a lot of suit and tie stuff going on. That wears me out quick. That side of my brain just doesn't work. So finally getting back here to get to sing, mistakes and all, it doesn't matter, you're getting to sing. Right? So it's I'm really looking forward to tonight, you know, with the kids, but also really looking forward to game night on Saturday night. Yes, ma'am. Oh, hello, beautiful. I didn't recognize you in the big orange tee. Thank you for being at the 7 celebration. That was very, very sweet. It was a good night. Mm-hmm. Well, his part was pretty simple. He came by for green screen, and that was it. He didn't stick around for the Sharks because he's a busy guy. He's got some kind of TV show or something. So he's always gone. But he was great. Kept us in stitches the whole time. So it was a 3-day shoot, Long Beach, California. So we put it out there because he was in the middle of worked for us. Also, they have professional tanks that they shoot movies in and stuff that can go underwater. So it was fun. The guys prepared for about 8 days of scuba training. And then everybody underneath the water, everybody that held a camera, everybody that held a cable, were all not just certified divers, dive masters. All of them were. So it's very safe underneath there. I'm a certified diver myself, so they let me just kind of play around, take a camera around and shoot some stuff. But it was fun to watch. Everybody was safe and fun. And then, you know, to have that happen, what happened on Facebook, because I don't know if people understand this. There's 2 rules that you have to follow that people don't get. They think I'm not on Apple because I don't want to be on Apple's iTunes for a decade. Apple, if you're an album-only artist, you don't get to be allowed on Apple. They've got to pull the singles, and we've just never done that. So we were not allowed there. Same way with YouTube. People go, why aren't you on YouTube? Well, YouTube, if you put a video on YouTube, they demand that the audio goes to their streaming as well. I have an exclusive audio streaming deal with Amazon, so I'm not allowed on YouTube either. So it was really cool to now see video go out because Amazon doesn't have their video streaming channel. Facebook was very sweet to stand up and say, we'll take it. And wow, did they ever. So it was cool, you know, every 30 minutes somebody was popping me a text, go, hey, another 1 million views, another whatever. And it was fun to see the response to that thing. I think everybody loved the Sharks the best. And it was fun. I think they loved Blake right after that. The band was great. I was a distant fourth, but I'm on a championship team. It's fine. I get to be on it. You know, it was good. Hey, Rusty. Yes. Dive bars, yes, sir. I think it's when Blake and I did the thing dive bar. So Mandy and Leslie, the two women that run our radio team, came to me and said, hey, man, would you think about doing just a string of dive bars to promote dive bar? And so they got with Seagram's, who Seagram's invented National Dive Bar Day 2 years ago, 7/7, so it makes sense. And we were doing this around May, so it made total sense. So they already had their 7/7 planned. We'll do something this July 7th coming up. And then as far as the dive bars, our last two are coming up here in the next 2 weeks. But I'm kind of the boss of my own ship. If I don't want this dive bar tour to end, I don't have to, and I'm having a blast. It's fun to get to go back to these places that you played. And the crazy thing is, let's take Green Hall, the oldest honky-tonk in Texas, the barn in Sanford, Florida. These were gigs we played in 1989. Well, the 7 guys that played those gigs, 5 of us were back in Green Hall and the barn. We're still all together. So it's fun to get to go back. So if we do announce a dive bar tour coming up, think about the cities you have that you can go to. Kansas City, one of our best ones. Indianapolis is one of our best markets. These places where you get to go to these dive bars and just the only way in is through country radio. I'm not going to tell you it's huge for country radio. That's not my place to say. But it's fun to get to see all my buddies texting going, well, hell, if I can't get tickets, how do I get in? You just text them back and go, you got to listen to your local country station. That is a beautiful thing. That's old school right there, and I like it. It's probably my favorite thing. Yes, sir, in the back. Hey, Steve. Well, all the games are over usually by the time that we're kind of done. I got to tell you what I did here last time, which was a huge mistake, was I went to Gus's every night. That was, whoo, man, that hit you about 2 a.m. But that's what I like to do. I like to hang around. Since you got your buddies, and since your best friend is who you're married to, and you got to remember, I got my phone here somewhere, but I got a picture on my phone. It's the very first one of the first picture me and her ever took. And it was 1988. She's a baby. And it's sweet. So there's your best friend as your wife. You get to talk to her about the show and stuff as well. But it's fun. Mostly you just get to close your eyes and remember it. And then I'm stunned that those memories are good enough to close your eyes 30 years from now. You'll still remember them. That's what makes the Great Plains great. Yes, sir. Yeah, Bandit's out of here, and these guys work. That's what I love. So they don't bitch, they don't complain, they just work. And they've been that way since day one. So you give me a bunch of guys that might not have all the money in the world backing them, but they are going to bust their ass all the way up till showtime, and then showtime they're going to do the gig, and they're going to tear down. What people don't realize is guys like me, guys like the band, we get to come in after everything's set up, do the show, and leave. Well, who's that person that's in here last Sunday, starting, who's going to be here till Tuesday, getting down and then do the same in the next city? It's going to be Bandit Lights. They're going to those guys. So team me with those guys. That's what I love. And then what I also love about them is most of the stuff you'll see tonight, especially stuff you go, oh, it's freaking cool. It's their idea, but I get credit for it. And right now in the press conference, I'm going to take credit for it. So anything you like tonight was 100% my idea. But they're great at that, man. And they come to you and they stopped asking about 2 or 3 years in. They usually, hey, man, we'd like to try something new. We want to try it out on you. My thing is always, come on, bring it. Because what I want are these people that fill these seats to see it at a country concert before they see it at a rap or pop concert. And nothing better than being at a rap or pop concert where people go, oh, that's cool. And somebody goes, ha, Garth did that 2 years ago. You know, that was fun. It's a lot of fun. So that's what I love about being partnered with good technology companies like Bandit, hardworking guys. They're always competing with everybody, want to be the best, and you get the benefit of that by being a partner of them. Yes, sir. Yeah. Here, I don't know nothing about a special guest, and if I did know, I wouldn't tell you. I'd go, I know nothing about a special guest, but I know nothing about a special guest. No party, just a good guy. We again, if I had my phone, we kind of closed down the CMA party 2 years ago. Just a good kid. Another one like Blake that's like 6'7". The guy just dwarfs on stage, but I like him because I hear a lot of George Strait and stuff, and George Strait's my guy. And so it's fun. It'll be fun to get him out here. But what I like most is just to get the new guys. That's what I want. New guys, new girls. And I love to see them physically shaking right before they come on. You just love it because this is how you get to be an artist. And you're like, hey, baptism by fire. Go get him, big boy. But the reason why I smile so much, because some people might say that's cruel, they're getting ready to stand in front of the greatest freaking audience they'll ever stand in front of. I'm going to tell you, forget about Garth Brooks, forget about the artist, but I will tell you the greatest audience on the planet are those people that come to a Garth Brooks concert. They just are. You know, Central Park, who knows what the numbers were, it's estimated between 8.5 to 1.2. They closed down Fifth Avenue. We're leaving the park in the bus, but we're going down Fifth Avenue. So the bus can only travel as fast as the people can walk. We're just sitting there, and right beside me is a couple on horseback. Slide the window open. Me and him are talking just as we're going down. I said, you have a good night tonight? He goes, I still don't understand it. I go, what? He goes, you want to take a guess how many arrests we had tonight? I said, oh, crap, how many? 2. That's a Garth Brooks crowd, man. Proud of them. Love them. They'll come here to love one another, and our job is to have them loving one another more when they leave here than when they came. So that's why John Party, when we pick him, love him because of his music and stuff, but I'm about to do John Party a great favor. And John Party's doing these people a great favor because he's going to get to play classic country music in front of some people that might not, that heard modern classic country like this guy does. So I think it's going to be a good marriage for him and a good marriage for the people that come see us. Okay? I'm so sorry. What is your name? Emily. Thank you for the question. Have a great day. Sorry, I did not ignore you. I didn't see you. Did you plant this? That's very convenient. That Kim, no. A&E's, it's cool. They're like in our backyard. So they, when people say, why do a biography now? It's kind of funny because the story seems to have been going on for a while, but it also kind of seems with this dive bar tour and the stadium tour being together, that's just kind of waking up. So it's kind of weird, but if you're going to do something to do it right, A&E seems to be the people that do that. So it's going to be the truth, whether I want it to be the truth or not. So here comes the interviews with the 3 daughters. They've never, ever been on film. Here comes the cameras into the studio, which we've never, ever allowed. Alan Reynolds was my mentor and producer, never allowed them in. So from 1971, cameras have never been in the studio. Here they come. And you're just going to see, warts and all, you're going to see it. And so if you're a fan of music, I hope you like it. And my thing is, as an artist, if people show up for you, I want them to show up because they know who you are, not because who they think you are. Because if they show up knowing who you are, that's when the love gets amazing. Because it's not an act. They know what they're getting when they get here. So it's a lot of fun. But that's A&E, yeah. And now I'd be a fool to remiss of going, when is that air? The first week in December? First week in December. Yeah, we got some people that have not got to ask questions yet, if we got time.
Just one really quick question. I'm at Ainsley Health.
Ainsley.
Switching gears a little bit, but I wanted to ask real quick, when was the first time you picked up a guitar, and what kind of guitar?
was my dad's guitar. My dad played, so Dad taught us all how to play. It was a Gibson. It was out of a hawk shop. So means that we don't have time to talk about my past or our kids as kids, but we never had anything, never had any money. But we had each other. We had 6 kids, all in one night. My bed was on wheels till I was 11 or 12, put in the closet every day. And then once the older kids moved out, you got to jump in their bed. But me being the last one, I was the last one to get one, you know. 6 kids, 5 boys, 1 girl. So 5 boys in one room, 1 girl in her own room, and then Mom and Dad in there. So Dad kind of taught everybody, and so you'd play on his old Gibson. And then when it came time for me to have a guitar, I couldn't afford one, and somebody at the university gifted me a guitar, and it kind of started from there. Been playing probably since I was about 17, 18, but really, do you know anything about guitar? Okay, so your dad will know. There's like 3 frets up here that most of the chords go, and then there's other 12 that I don't know what those are for, kind of thing. You could just get rid of those and play a little guitar for me. It'd be enough. So I use it pretty much just to hide my gut. That's the whole reason why I have a guitar, and that's it. But I love it. I love guitar players. James Taylor is my favorite guy. The way he plays guitar is crazy. He's self-taught. So if you sit there and go, I'm going to learn to play this by watching James, you can't, because his A is not everybody else's A. It's like, how screwed up is that? But man, listen to it. He also tunes his guitar different than standard tuning. So, be careful who you love, because the gods do things their own way. And just a guy I couldn't learn from, but Dad kind of taught us the basic stuff. Yes, sir.
Jasper Young from Earl 96.
Hey, Jasper.
You called in our station a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
We do appreciate it. You interviewed guitar owner Ron Meredith. I told Ron Meredith that you were going to be the first one to hit a home run at a Neyland Stadium.
Oh, really?
100,000 plus here. Is there any different feeling at Neyland Stadium versus Thompson Bowie?
No, and there's really no difference between here and the dive bars either. I kid you not. It's the energy, how they're all packed in. And it'll just be up to these people. What I did learn was we had 2 opening acts, the first one, and these people didn't have to stand that long, because they're going to stand for these opening acts and make them feel like an opening act wants to feel, like a superstar. So you're going to ask a lot of this crowd. So it's going to be up to them. If it's what I think's going to happen, I'm going to be holding on for dear life from the word go. That's what you hope. But like I said, let me tell you what happened in Denver. We went to Denver. It's the best night of my life that I can think of, playing live-wise. The band came out. The crowd was so loud you couldn't even hear the count-off on the first song. And so I'm sitting there going, though, the band's going to crumble under this weight, but the band just kind of stepped up and just popped them. And you could see the crowd physically kind of go back. And then the crowd started pushing in, and then here it came, back and forth, and it was like watching a prize fight all night long. And it was beautiful. And I don't think either one of them dropped all night long. So that was fun, and that's what I'm hoping happens here, is just we're going to bring out the redneck, the hillbilly, the cowboy, and everybody, and I hope it gets really loud. And when it gets really loud, it gets really fun. Everybody good? Yes, sir. What is your name, sir? Hey, Danny. Really? Yeah, so Inky, you were over there, and they open up for questions. Well, I'm the first guy with a question, and I'm standing right next to him. I have to ask him, if that second came up again, what do you wish would happen? Man, Inky, this guy is a good human being. He said, well, you got to understand, from that moment on, I realized that my calling was not football. My calling was speaking to people about being better people, believing in themselves. He says, I'm a better husband to my wife, I'm a better father to my children because of what happened to me. He said, so honestly, I wouldn't change a thing. Now, man, I'm sitting there going, I get that, but couldn't God do that like 10 years later after 7 Super Bowls and, and me being set up for life? But I can tell you this, if there's one thing my dad gave me above all else, it's believing that you know when people are telling you the truth or not. And I believe with all of my heart that when he speaks, he's speaking the voice of God, of saying, I would not change a single second. I'd still approach it the same way. Everything would go, and I believe him 100%. And for me, that makes him a giant of a human being. I just love him. Yes, sir. Hey, Ryan. Oh, yes, sir. Like the January 1st or around the first of the year. Thank you. Man, get ready, because I had that same problem too. Because the reason we've stayed away from stadiums is, one, you're scared to death you can't fill them. But two, it's like they're cold. They got to be distant. I am stunned with what I see here. I'm just stunned. And what I love too is my guys will bring pictures. You'll see social media pictures, and they're in the back row. And these people that are right in front of them, and the stage looks like a postage stamp down there, the people at the backs are all like that. And you're like, how can that be? So it's just a wonderful thing where this is not what I thought a stadium was going to be. It's just a dive bar with 80 freaking thousand people in it, singing at the top of their lungs and singing like they're the only ones here, but part of something bigger than we can all be by ourselves. So it's pretty cool. As an entertainer, you learn that the bigger the crowd, the more one they become. That's your job. So in Thompson Bowling, the stage was a dasher. You know, the hockey dashers are basketball courts. So you're going to work with 60 feet wide, 40 feet deep. What you're going to see tonight is 150 feet wide by 100 deep. So Fatboy Slim's got his ass. He's going to be running everywhere, right? But you have to do that to keep everybody in on the same picture. But I'm stunned. And you also have 10 people on there who are fantastic entertainers. Whether Garth Brooks should win Entertainer of the Year 7 times or not, those guys should. That band, because we played a private gig for the first time ever in our lives, who made a huge donation to the charity. And I look back and I watched those guys play for 250 people. And if I would have not known there was 250 people, you'd think there was 80,000 people. This is their life. This is how they do it. So what people are going to walk away from here, I hope, is Garth Brooks is a lot more than one just kind of heavy white guy that plays country music, you know. I hope they're going to say Garth Brooks is an experience. And hopefully, like I talked about your university, I hope everybody you meet that's with us on this crew, you go, that's a good crew and a good band, and hopefully that's a good thing for music. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you guys very, very much. We're doing one-on-ones. I'll talk to you guys in a minute. Thank you all.